Shit! Shut down! Stop!
So, everyone loves Rambo First Blood. It's considered a classic movie. It really is a good movie. It's entertaining. It has that old feel of like a really unique story. Everyone loves, like, it was changed significantly from the book. The book itself is also great. It is significantly more morally grey, let's say, because even by the start of the story, Rambo going into the book has already killed civilians, not just people in the war. He's killed civilians that have messed with him in the past. That's before he even gets to the town with Teasel. In the book, obviously, Teasel is significantly more likeable as well. He's significantly more humanised, more down-to-earth, more practical. He's like a Korean war veteran, I'm pretty sure. But he's more of a line soldier, whereas Rambo was special forces, so there's like a bit of an uppity sort of deal thing happening with Rambo. That's not really displayed in the movie. In the movie, Teasel's just pretty much demonised. It's just pretty much asshole Brian Dennehy, and yeah, which makes the book significantly more morally grey. Also, the difference in the book is Rambo kills like fucking 20 people. But, like, it's just interesting, you know. So let's compare that, both book Rambo and movie Rambo, to Desi Freeman, the dude who was minding his business on his own property when police apparently decided to invade his home with a warrant in order to prohibit and seize his firearms. The warrant was based on historical sex offences for people under the age of 16 or something like that, which in itself is very, very fucking suspicious, simply because Desi Freeman's like, well, he's like a lot of us, he's an anti-vaxxer. He pretty much checked out of society after all the overreach with COVID mandates and all that sort of thing. If you think that's unreasonable, I should also mention that this was in Victoria, which was I'm pretty sure it was the most locked down city in the Western world. I think only like China beat it. Fun fact, Dan Andrews is going to China to chill with Xi Jinping at a military parade. So Victoria already has significant ties to the corrupt Chinese Communist Party. It should be mentioned that the political structure in Victoria has that. So there's obviously probably a significant amount of institutional corruption if Dan Andrews is friends with fucking Xi Jinping. So, I mean, how much are you going to believe the police? If the political structure there, which appoints people in positions of power, is that fucking corrupt, how are we going to assume that the police authorities that are appointed by said political structure are not going to be corrupt? So, like, this chief of police, and that's before you even get into all the allegations from Desi of, police corruption, stealing his cars, all that sort of thing. It'll be interesting to see if the police actually starve his cats to death, because he's got cats in his home, and apparently the family is not allowed to go home because the home's a crime scene. That's where the 3 police officers were shot. The 2 were killed and the 1 was wounded. And apparently they're just starving the cats to death. They're pulling like an American ATF move and killing the pets, which immediately should make you think, okay, they're fucking very likely very corrupt. And it's very suspect. But anyway, let's point out, book Rambo and movie Rambo only lasted like 4 days. Old Desi is on to his 6th day at the moment. He has 1.5 times Rambo's score, which is very impressive. At a certain point, they will have to call off the search. I mean, there is nothing more fragile than the ego of a seriously corrupt state that has incited a incident like this, like it should be said. And that fragile ego will lead to narcissistic reprisal. But Victoria was pretty much corrupt before this whole search thing started. Before this whole search thing started, they had to introduce new taxes because Dan Andrews' lockdown bankrupted Victoria. Now they're going to spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day on, like, police search helicopters, 450 people man-hours. Like, okay, you're on to your 6th day now. What's that? That's more than 600 grand just in, like, people work hours alone, and helicopter and the armoured cars and that sort of thing. That's not, I don't think, taking into account fuel, and if they have more than one helicopter, the rest of their equipment, their radios and all that sort of thing. I don't think it's taking account into all of that. Like, I don't think it's even taking that into account, the rising energy costs for the charging for all the equipment and everything. So it would appear that old Desi Freeman's waging an attritional war at the moment, and he's waging it against a formerly bankrupt state in Victoria, which very likely as a result of this may need to raise taxes more. Like, ooh, okay. But, like, the fuck thing is, people get this idea that just because something's the law, it's correct. Like, the same thing happened with Luigi Mangione, like, if you look into that a bit. Like, Luigi murdered a healthcare CEO who arguably was responsible for murdering people through policy, through denial of healthcare claims. You now have people claiming that Luigi's saved their lives because of the overreaction in policy after Luigi murdered this dude, because people were taking a closer look at their books and seeing that they were denying healthcare claims. So he's killed one person, he's avenged a bunch of murdered people by doing so, and he's saved lives by reaction and policy by killing said one person. So, okay, you're going to argue he's evil? Like, mathematically speaking, he punished evil and saved a life. And then, okay, it gets into the situation like this with old Desi Freeman. These corrupt police allegedly had been stealing his cars, had beat him up once. They're the same people that, smashed the anti-mandate protests at the war memorial and they're the same ones that, you know, rode down little old ladies on police horses that were protesting the mandate. In hindsight, at least from the Japanese study, we can see that excess death has majorly increased because of the fucking COVID jabs, the various COVID jabs. Meaning there's like a direct link between, I'm pretty sure, cancer as well. There's, let's say allegedly cancer, so my fucking YouTube channel doesn't get more nuked, like it is significantly nuked now, but more nuked. Okay, so let's just say allegedly between super aggressive cancers from circulating spike protein and at least excess death, according to the Japanese study, which was of like 18 million people, and it showed like a massive increase in excess death among the people who had the jab. There could be statistical artifacts in their studies. Let's say a bunch of older people were more scared of it, and since they were more susceptible to COVID, they died first, and they also got the jab, because the jab didn't do like a whole lot of protecting against COVID. It could be statistical artifacts like that, but let's just say at least it's suspect, and at least the government shouldn't have used force to enforce it, right? Let's say that at least. The corrupt Victorian state cracked down on that with horrible violence. Like, let's call it what it is. It is assault to do that. The people it arrested over that and put in quarantine camps, that's assault and kidnapping. And like, all of this is overturning the previously assumed right to medical autonomy that everyone had. Like, the status quo before all of this was, if you're treating someone in healthcare, you need their express written consent to do anything. Like, if they're unconscious and you treat them, they can sue you after the fact because, you know, you didn't have their consent to do it. It's the same in first aid. Like, they teach you this in first aid courses if you do provide first aid in Australia. Before you start giving people mouth to mouth or resuscitating them or whatever, you have to talk to them and try and get consent off them. Like, that's in that first aid course. Victoria and Australia in general completely overrided this, you know, normal status quo when they fucking decided to, you know, force inject people with something that was, you know, pretty harmful to their health, let's be honest. So, like, that's the position where we start our story from. Like, if we're looking at it as a comparison between the first Rambo movie, Brian Dennehy was an asshole and he overstepped on Rambo's civil liberties, put him in fucking jail, and Rambo eventually flipped out when he saw the straight razor that he got tortured with. Like, if we're being honest, Brian Dennehy was the asshole of that movie. He was the villain of that movie. As said before, the book was significantly different because Teasel in the book was significantly more likable. He was like a Korean War veteran, and by that point Rambo was kind of already on his way to being a serial killer. He'd already killed people. So maybe the book isn't the best comparison here with old Desi Freeman, but the movie certainly is. Like, fair enough, Desi's killed people now. He's killed 2 people and wounded another person. But those people were kind of transgressing on him in a manner like fucking Teasel, you must admit. Like, this warrant is fucking suspicious, to be the least. Like, they've alleged historic sex crimes against him, and based on those allegations, not conviction, mind you, allegations, they've tried to strip his gun rights. Like, that seems very suspicious. That seems very fucking weird. It's not like any of this is proven. Like, and this warrant hasn't been publicly released yet, which is very suspicious. The police are very sneakily trying to use the whole, oh, we don't want to jeopardize a criminal investigation. But at that point, it's like, okay, you've got a corrupt state who's transgressing on an individual's rights. They're hiding it from the public, whatever it is. Desi has his rights stripped before he can even face his accuser or before he's even convicted. Like, this is just persecution of an individual. Let's call it what it is. And, like, then they rock up armed at his place in order to pretty much assault him and remove his gun rights, remove his ability for self-defense. And he responds to that like, okay, you're telling me the police are the good guys here? Really doesn't look like it. It really looks like they're persecuting an individual. And, like, Australians are getting fucking sick of this, by the way. Like, they make a big point of the Palestinian marches because it was like 50,000 people. The anti-mandate marches were like 500,000 people each in each city, and they were in like 3 cities. Like, okay, you want to make a big, you know, public show of your pet cause, which is, you know, Israel-Palestine. When Palestine, let's face it, is run by Hamas, and Hamas is a terrorist organisation. It is a terrorist government. So it is a terrorist insurgency in fucking Israel, pretty much. You want to fucking play around with your pet fucking project there. You want to astroturf how popular it is, you know, so it can influence your public opinion. That, by the way, is a failure, because Albanese's fucking immediately backpedaled after Hamas thanked him for recognising Palestine as a state. It just goes to show you the retardedness of Anthony Albanese. And then he, denounced a week currently in the middle of a revolution, Iran. Like, that was stupid policy on like 3 different things. First of all, straight off the bat, you should denounce Hamas and remain silent on Palestine. That is the most moral course of action you can take regarding that conflict, especially given the amount of lies coming out of fucking Palestine, right? And out of Hamas, the Hamas-run health ministry, that whole thing. They don't even count terrorist deaths. They treat every death like it's a civilian death. People parrot that. The media parrots that. Remain silent on that. You're helping a guerrilla terrorist proxy war, which is getting more and more civilians killed. The most moral thing you can do there is fucking shut the fuck up about it. Instead, he's given support to the terrorists. The terrorists have said thank you for his support, and then he's backpedaled on his support. If you said nothing, you would look less stupid. If you said, okay, no, we don't support Hamas, and then remain silent on Palestine saying, I'm not going to get into it, your political position will look so much fucking better. But instead, he fucked it up. He fucked it up because he's an idiot. And then, out of political opportunism, he has condemned Iran. It would have been smarter to remain silent on Iran until you see which way the revolution is going. If the revolution is successful in Iran and the Shah is installed, you will have an ally in the region, at which point you can then make a statement saying, yeah, look, we love the Shah, we're glad they overthrew the revolutionary Islamists. We look forward to normalizing relationships with Iran. Like, it's so fucking stupid. His politics, like John Howard, the idiot that gave up gun rights and self-defense in Australia, has criticised Albanese for being stupid, politically stupid, and not knowing which way the wind's blowing. Yeah, kinda. And then you have the Labor representation in Victoria being the most lockdown state, the most transgressive on civil rights ever in Australia, I'm pretty sure. And now you want to tell us that the Teasels in Victoria are the good guys. It's really not looking like they're the good guys. Just gotta say, it's really looking like they're a bunch of fucking corrupt thugs that were, transgressing on Desi's rights because he was making a stink in court, asking the magistrates to arrest each other because they were all fucking corrupt. And he had a big file with him, and I'm guessing that in that file there was a lot of different things about assault and that sort of deal. And the magistrates sort of laughed it off because, they're all patting each other on the back. I'd love to see the court transcripts from all of his hearings. I bet you there's a bunch of shit in those to do with his assaults and them stealing cars and them threatening him and all that sort of thing. I bet he has a bunch of proof in them. And after that, they are then going to single him out and persecute them because he's making a scene. This from Communist China aligned Victoria politically. This from Labour Australia. Like, ooh, okay. Kind of on Desi's side, and quite frankly, Desi's pretty impressive. As mentioned before, this is the 6th day he's been in the bush. Like, that's fucking impressive. Rambo was only 4 days and he was Special Forces. Desi's like a fucking learn by doing anti-vaxxer. And he's managed to fight off 3 cops, killing 2 of them. And he's been surviving in the bush as a survivalist for 6 days now. That's far more impressive than Rambo. Well, movie Rambo, let's say. Book Rambo's a different story. He fucking killed all the hunting dogs they sent after him. Then he killed the tracker they sent after him. Then he fucking set up a bunch of traps and killed all the fucking police that were like following him. The search party. Like, okay, fair enough, Book Rambo fucking done pretty well. But Desi, as a civilian, he's fucking very impressive at least. Like, morals aside, you might say he's bad because he killed police officers. I would like to know more about the police officers, quite frankly. I don't buy that they're just doing their job. Like, at a certain point, you know, you're kind of mates with all your superiors and the coppers around you and everything. You go, what are we doing today, boys? Oh, we're going to go after that crazy anti-vaxxer in the fucking woods again. Didn't fucking Jim Bob and fucking Ron Weasley also steal his fucking car the other day? Yeah, they did, yeah. We're going to give him some more shit. Like, at what point, you know, did they all know what was happening with fucking old mate Desi? Like, I don't believe it. Just like in the places I've worked, you know all the gossip around shit. I can't imagine it's any different with coppers. I really can't. And as a result, what, you want me to mourn these 2 guys that were like persecuting an innocent dude that was pointing out corruption in Victoria? The same Victoria with, you know, Chinese communist ties. The same Victoria where Dan Andrews is going to a Chinese communist military parade. The same China that overcounted their population by 30 to 40% has kill vans running around. That 30 and 40% is tens of millions of people, by the way. Killed tens of millions of their own people. I mean, you can see which way the wind's blowing, put it that way. And quite frankly, we haven't even gone into the technical implications of Desi's skills here. Like, Desi fled into the bush with tracker dogs coming after him. It's a fucking thing to throw tracker dogs off your scent, by the way. It's fucking very hard to do. This is modern day warfare. Modern day warfare has very different implications from Rambo era warfare. Rambo era warfare was, okay, they got a tracker who's good at following footprints and dogs that can follow a scent. Modern day shit is, oh, we've got a helicopter with fucking thermal vision. We've got drones with thermal vision, likely. Like, I don't know how much they've got in the military involved, but if they've got the military involved, like, they're gonna have fucking little baby fly drones with thermal vision on them. They're gonna be able to fly them up into the air. They're gonna have thermal vision on those drones, so they're gonna see in white and black hot all of the surroundings. Even if Desi's in a ghillie suit, by the way, I should mention you can buy ghillie suits on eBay. I didn't know this until the other day when I looked it up, and I was thinking, can you buy fucking ghillie suits on eBay? I'm not sure. But, like, even if Desi's in a ghillie suit, I'm assuming the ghillie suit eventually heats up with your body heat. Like, it might be different because it's like fucking, 7 degrees or whatever up there at the moment. It'd be fucking freezing cold. But even if he's in a ghillie suit and he's really hard to spot with the naked eye, I'm assuming he's going to be heating the suit up and it'd be pretty easy to spot with the drone. And I'm assuming how a patrol works is they use the drone to map out an area. They then move forward with the patrol, one person covering the tracker in the lead. The tracker's looking for footprints, etc. If they find footprints, then, you know, they're onto a lead. In addition to that, I'm pretty sure they would have dogs. dogs trying to follow a track. By the way, it's not easy to throw a dog off scent. Like, there's a couple of ways to do it. Like, what was it in, I think it was Cool Hand Luke, he used like cayenne pepper and everything, like a shitload of it, on his trail to confuse and discombobulate the dogs. I don't think that works in real life. In addition to that, I guess you've got, if you go through like a fertilizer factory or something. I vaguely remember reading a book about someone who escaped from a concentration camp, or either a war camp or a concentration camp. I can't remember exactly, but they went through a fertilizer factory, and the fertilizer factory confused the tracking German dogs that were coming after them. That's like another way you can do it. This is fucking Highlands, by the way. Like, I don't think either of these, I don't think either of these, there's any of these, like, near. Maybe Desi's, like, fucking put a shitload of himself around the area, and that's confused the things. I think rain also, throws dog scent off eventually, too. Like, if it pisses down rain, it'll confuse the scent in the air. And the other one is the whole going up and down rivers. Apparently that can confuse dog tracking as well. But, like, even then, you kind of know he's going to have to lead the river at some point, unless he's got, like, a boat or something in the river. And his scent will eventually be on one of the sides of the river, up and down the bank. So it's like a matter of time searching with dogs up and down the banks of the river. But it, like, just from that, you can see how skillful Desi is. Desi's done a fucking good job. 6 days of searching with current day technology. Like, again, we're assuming these coppers are intelligent shit. But how intelligent could they be if they're the same ones that, you know, mass rubber bullets bulleted a fucking anti-vaxxer protest at a war memorial when the anti-vaxxer was saying, hey, no, we don't want to take this, and they're like, no, we will crush you. Like that's just a stupid thing to do. You're just making everyone hate the government. Like, assuming that they're reasonably technically competent, though, which, again, is probably a bit of an assumption if they can't find a lone do-it-yourself anti-vaxxer after 6 days. Yeah, like, Desi's quite impressive. Let's just say what it is. He's doing Rambo shit. Like, to hide from drones and stuff. Like, there's certain bushcraft shit you can do, right? To hide visually from people. Like, you can get a branch, you can twist the branch into a circle, you can then weave rope through it, then you can stick branches out of it. Sort of like what the Japanese did in, like, World War II, right? Bush improvised camouflage, where you just basically get a bunch of branches, put them on your back, and then lie down. It's very hard to see you. Like, there's shit like that you can do, right? That's not going to hide you properly from a thermal camera. It may hide you from, like, just regular drone vision, but even your body heat's eventually going to warm up the branches on your back. Like, if you're using a thermal camera, you're eventually going to be able to be spotted. Yeah, like, it's just impressive. Like, the other way to get around that would be to have drone jammers, but in the case of a drone jammer, you would be able to mark on a map the area where drones are jammed, and eventually you could map out where it is, and then you could center in on the drone jammer and find the area of the drone jammer, right? So it would go out in, like, a big circle. Like, there's certain shit you can do, right? But, hey, look, Desi, 6 days. That's fucking impressive, right? 6 days with all of the infinite resources of the police after you in the bush, and they haven't been able to find him. Like, the only thing more impressive would be if he got away and managed to, like, assassinate Dan Andrews or something. Like, if he managed to do that, I'd be like, alright, fucking very well done. Very well done. He managed to kill a corrupt fucking communist plant in the Australian government. Well, first of all, fought off 3 police, killing 2. hid in the bush for fucking 6 days, for nearly a week, escaped the search parties in the bush, and I'm assuming that that whole fucking town of Poripunka is locked down and they've got barricades and checkpoints fucking everywhere in that town. Like, I don't know what the roads and shit are like there, or how wide and open the country is. Like, if he has like a dirt bike or whatever and can go off road through other people's properties or whatever, jump fences and stuff, get around the checkpoints and roadblocks. Like, I don't know if he can do that. But surely they've got like helicopters and shit searching as well. But fucking hell, 6 days, a week. Hey, look, that's more than Rambo. And like, quite frankly, in the book there, it was what 60s, 70s. It was after the Vietnam War. Less technology. Hey, look, he's doing very, very impressively. Even if you disagree with everything, even if you're like one of these narcissistic cunts that says, no, we should have forced everyone to have the COVID vaccine, and we should have used the government to do it by force and override everything. We shouldn't have people speaking out against the vaccine online. We should censor speech, and we should give the government the power to censor speech. Like, even if you're like a complete and total fucking retard that thinks that way. And by the way, you're the reason why communists get into power, you stupid cunt. Like, you're still gonna deny how impressive Desi has been, like how far he's gotten, how he's gotten away from like police search parties, police search dogs, drones, helicopters in the bush. You're gonna deny his skills? Like, that's very impressive. Especially in the modern age. Like, ChatGPT can only teach you so much. You can only learn so much from books. He has a sound, theoretical and practical understanding of getting away from shit. Let's say that, at the very least. He is impressive. Like, if he gets out of this and gets a light sentence for killing the cops, so, let's say somehow he manages to convince that it was like self-defense or whatever, and the cops persecuting, like, that's another thing. They haven't leaked any of the body cam footage or anything like that. Like, you kind of need to leak that. Like, let's say they leaked the warrant. The warrant's absolutely fucked. It's based on allegations. They had no right. It's obvious that they were persecuting him. They tie this to the corrupt person who issued the warrant, which is probably some sort of judge somewhere. They tie the judge to the Labour Party, Dan Andrews and everything. The whole thing looks fucking super corrupt. Then they release the body cam. The body cam's fucked. The body cam shows super aggressive police. Shows him saying, no, this is fucked. This is bullshit. That judge is corrupt. Look into that judge. And then they escalate. Then he escalates and he kills them. Like, so it's like self-defense. Let's say it shows all of this. He gets like, what, 2-3 years in prison for it. And then after that, we can say, like, fucking start teaching like a bush government evasion course. Start teaching one of them babies. Because, like, what you've done here is fucking impressive.